Have you ever driven past a new apartment building and wondered, how on earth did that get built? Well, it often starts with a multi-million-dollar deal. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on one of those deals and see how creative financing can do a lot more than just make money. It can actually help build a community. Let's dive in.
Okay, let's start with the big number right up front. $26,560,000. Wow. That's not just some random number, right? That is the kind of cash that can take an old, forgotten building and breathe new life into it. But the real question is, how does anyone get their hands on that kind of money for a project? It all comes down to a really smart financial strategy.
So yeah, that's the big question we're tackling today. How does a massive loan like this for an apartment building in a city like Houston actually come together? What are all the pieces of the puzzle? We're going to walk through it step by step, and I think you'll find it's pretty fascinating.
To really understand the deal, you've got to understand the building itself. Every property has a story, a history, and this one is a classic tale of urban transformation.
You see, this place has lived a few different lives. It pops up in the 80s, and for a while it was just a busy warehouse and distribution center, super common in a lot of cities, right? But then, fast forward to 2019, and a developer comes along who sees some serious potential in its bones. And that vision is what set the stage for the modern residential community that stands there today.
So what does that new life actually look like for residents? Well, we're talking about 60 awesome loft-style units. But it's really the whole package that makes it attractive. You've got a fitness center, storage, parking, even some nice outdoor space. These are the things that make people want to live there. And, crucially, it's what allows the project to generate the income it needs to be a financial success.
Okay, so we've got this great property, fully transformed. But how did the developer pay for all this? That brings us to the heart of the deal, the financial engine that made it all possible. A little something called a bridge loan.
So what in the world is a bridge loan? Well, the name kind of gives it away. It's a short-term loan that literally bridges a gap in time and money. Think about it. There's this awkward period between when a developer buys a property and when it's actually full of tenants paying rent. A bridge loan provides the cash to get through that phase, to keep the lights on until they can secure a more permanent, long-term loan. It's a financial stepping stone.
And this whole playbook has a name. It's called a bridge-to-agency strategy. Here's the simple version. Step 1, you get that bridge loan to survive the lease-up period. That's the mad dash to get people moved in. Step 2, once the building is stabilized with steady rent checks coming in, you move to the final step. You transition or refinance to a permanent agency loan. Think Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac. And here's the kicker. Those loans almost always have way better, more favorable terms. That's the end game.
Now, here's another key phrase you've got to know: non-recourse. This is an absolute game changer for the person borrowing the money. All it means is that if something goes horribly wrong and the project fails, the lender can take back the property, but that's it. They can't come after the developer's house or their other businesses or their personal bank account. It puts a hard limit on the risk, which makes these huge deals possible in the first place.
Of course, a deal isn't just about numbers and legal terms. It's always about people. It's about the partners on both sides of the table who have to trust each other to make it all work. So let's hear from the key players here.
First, you've got the lender, David Palmer. Listen to the words he uses: flexible, smoothly, minimal friction. He's not just selling money, he's selling a seamless process. He's basically saying, we've designed our loan to help you succeed, which of course is the best way to make sure he gets paid back. It's a true partnership. And then you hear from the other side of the table, the developer, Brandon Cook. And look what he says right away. He connects the dots. He says, sure, this is about our investment goals. It's a business after all. But then he immediately points out that it's also about addressing a critical need in the community, which is affordable housing.
And that right there, that's the bigger story. This deal was structured in a way that created a true win-win. It wasn't just about making a profit, it was also about serving a purpose for the city and its residents. And this is where it gets really, really cool. Look at this. A full 1/3 of the apartments in this brand new modern building are specifically set aside for affordable housing. That's 20 units. In a major city like Houston, finding affordable places to live is a huge challenge, so this is a really big deal. It's proof that you can do well by doing good.
So let's just recap this perfect win-win situation. What did the developer get? They got the flexible cash they needed to get through that tough initial phase, and a clear runway to stable, long-term financing. And what did the city of Houston get? 60 beautiful new homes, with a big chunk of them specifically helping to solve the affordable housing crisis. Everybody wins.
All of this really leads to a much bigger question, doesn't it?
We've seen how one financial tool, a simple bridge loan, can do so much more than just fund a project. It can help create something that delivers both profit and purpose. So as we think about all the challenges our cities are facing, you have to wonder, could this kind of creative, thoughtful finance be one of the most important keys we have to building a better future? Something to think about.